How you doing today, veterans? My name is Thomas Wiley, and I'm coming to you today from Renewal by Andersen of Central Virginia in Roanoke. I'm glad you could be part of our veterans course on how to translate your military experience into a civilian resume. I have been in this exact same position, wondering how I can take my 15 years of experience and translate that into some type of resume, as navigating the civilian world can be extremely stressful for you and for your family. Just speaking from experience, I know that it can be tough to take a lot of the terminology that you actually have experience in with the military and be able to get civilian employers to understand that. And that's what we really want to focus on here today, is being able to help assist, give you some tips, give you some recommendations. One thing that we want to keep in mind is civilian employers, they value your skills. Oftentimes what we see as talent acquisition people in the professional world is veterans have a hard time translating that into a way that civilian employers can understand. So that's really the meat and potatoes that we want to take out of this today, is being able to get away from a lot of the jargon and a lot of the terminology that you've seen, heard, and used since you've been in the military, and see how we can reshape that resume to be more highly dynamic, to increase the visibility of somebody taking a look at your resume and giving you a shot towards your first career option in the civilian world. First thing is know your audience. Let's say, for instance, you were an administrative Marine, and part of your job was to assist Marines in pay and benefits and things like that. That may be more closely related and translated to that of an HR generalist in the civilian world. So we want to make sure that you can use specific language from a job that you're looking at and be able to translate what you did in the military into your civilian resume. And what we want to do here is we want to focus on the relevance and experience that you have in this specific title instead of your rank. Now, that's not to undermine what you've earned since you've been in the military, but what we really want to do is we want to hone in on your experience, because while rank is important and it's something that you'll always carry with you, it's not necessarily something that that civilian employer is going to understand. Another good tip that you can use is translating your military roles into civilian equivalents. So what I mean by this, and I can give you a few examples, is oftentimes we hear terms like platoon sergeant, we hear squad leader, we hear NCOIC. Those are all things that you and I understand, but to your typical civilian that has no experience in the military or doesn't know anybody in the military, maybe they don't necessarily understand what that means. You know, the rumor is true. Sometimes you only get maybe a 30 to 45 second view of that resume by the hiring manager if it reaches them. So you want to make sure it's really geared and focused towards those civilian terminologies. What we can do here is, if you were a platoon sergeant at any point in time in your career, you want to be able to translate that into team manager or operations supervisor. Squad leader could be team lead. These are all terminologies that are going to be widely understood in the civilian world. All right, another one in terms of military jargon that can really take things south very, very quickly is utilizing names like battalion or regiment or PME to explain the size of your organization, what type of education that you've done in the military. So you want to get away from using things like, hey, I was a staff non-commissioned officer in a battalion the size of 2,000 people. All right, what you'd rather say is, I was a team manager in charge of a large organization accomplishing this goal or this task. There's just specific ways you want to make sure that you're kind of navigating around that. In terms of your education, professional military education is simply, it uses the acronym PME. We want to get away from using PME, and you want to say, went to a leadership academy, went to online school, whatever the case may be. So that's all relevant experience. We don't want to take away from it. We don't want to minimize it. We want to translate it. Another topic to go over is quantifying achievement. So oftentimes, depending on how much time you've actually spent in the military, you're going to get awarded quite a few times. What we want to be able to do is, instead of individually adding those to our resume, we want to quantify all of that. So what would that look like? It could be a simple statement under your accomplishments part of your resume that says, been awarded 32 specific awards for meritorious service while in the military. It could be something simple like that. Another important aspect of your resume that you want to consider is the type of resume format that you're going to use. So there's three basic types of resume. So you have your chronological, you have your functional, and then you have your hybrid option. I chose to use the hybrid option in terms of my resume format because it gives you the flexibility to be able to combine both your military service and any type of civilian employment that you had before, or even at this point in time in your career. But if you choose to use the functional, that's something that's going to be able to help you emphasize the skills over the roles. And this is ideal if you did something specific in the military, like a specific job, and you want to translate into a different career path. And then if you were some type of HR person, or if you were some type of infantry service member, and you want to translate that into joining the police force, or weapons training or something like that, you'd want to be able to use a chronological resume. And that's best for being able to stay in the same field. That way you can relate and kind of bunch all that experience into one. One thing that I see that's hurting a lot of veterans in terms of finding civilian employment is there's a lot of job seekers out there. There's a lot of jobs, but a lot of companies are actually using automation and AI in terms of their HRIS systems, which is what screens your resume. So what we want to do is we kind of want to get away from sitting down at the computer and spending an hour and a half typing up each part of your resume, and then before you know it, it comes out to 4 pages. We want to keep in mind 2 pages for military. You might be able to get away with 3, depending on what type of experience you have added in there. But AI is here. It's not going away. Let's use that to our advantage. And what I mean by that is what you can do is you can actually take certain snippets out of your resume in terms of your experience, and you can have AI help you. You definitely don't want AI to write your entire resume, but you can have AI help you be able to boost or refine specific terms in your resume. So what you want to do is you want to utilize that as a tool, and then you want to be able to utilize AI to pull key terms and keywords out of job descriptions. So for example, if I am applying for a talent acquisition director position at another company, what I want to do is I want to take that job description and I want to run it through AI, and I want to instruct it to take specific keywords. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take those keywords and I'm going to strategically place them in my resume. What it's going to do is it's going to make it through that automation system, that HRIS that company is using, and help you get it to the next level. These tips, these tricks, these recommendations, they helped me when I first got out of the military. It takes some practice, it takes some time, and it definitely takes some patience. But we wanted to put this together for you because while there is numerous resources out there, this is something that's near and dear to my heart, as it's been able to help change my life and my career, not only for myself, but for my spouse and for my family as well. Just know that your time will come, and you want to stay resilient towards the goal that you have put out there for yourself. It's not any different from when we were in the military. So if you have a specific job in mind, or a specific career field or path, utilize these tips and shoot and aim for that specific field. I guarantee you, if you stay resilient and you put all these tips and these tools and these recommendations into your practice for your new position, you will be successful. For more tips and more recommendations, check out our blog. Feel free to contact me on LinkedIn, and check out our careers page for any opportunities available at Roanoke by Andersen of Central Virginia and Roanoke. Thank you.